We'll take a quick look at the SP 500 and the NASDAQ, and then the normal tech stocks and Bitcoin at the end. So on the weekly chart for the S&P here, we're looking at a move up here into wave 3, and then wave 4 and wave 5, and then an ABC for wave 2, and then further up at that point. So between 4 and 5 here on the daily chart, between wave 4 and wave 5 to the upside here. So we're looking at wave 1 and 2. Now I've got wave 3 a little bit small here, and last time we spoke we've had wave 1 here and wave 2 here, with going for wave 3 up here. Now that's still possible. So all the counts that I've got are all bullish. Okay, so that's the good news. So I'm just sort of presenting ideas for the current situation. So it's possible to look at this as 1 and 2 here, and this here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, right? And in that case we would push up to, we don't want to use that drawing tool, we want to use this one. So a wave 4 and 5 here, and then up for wave 5. Now the thing with this is it does leave this wave 2 to 3 here rather short. Okay, so I'm aware of that. So it's either that, or I need to make this a lot more bullish, this wave 3 here, which is very simple to do. It just means that I need to look at these as a series of 1s and 2s and 1s and 2s, and build and continue building to the upside. So let's just go to the 1000 tick area through here. This is how we've had it here. This count here is slightly different. The count that I just talked about was, well, from wave 2 here to wave 3 up here, right? We're looking for 5 waves between 2 and this 3 here. So that would be 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. In the count that we just had a look at, I'm bringing wave 1 back over to here, and wave 2 over to here, and looking at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. So a slight different. I'm just sort of toying around with things and tracking, well, there's this count and this count here that I just talked about. This is nice and clean here, so we've got 1 and 2 here, and going up for wave 3 here, and looking for 5 waves of 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3 and 4 and 5. We're still going to get across the 500 here, we're still going to get this particular pattern here. So currently we're reacting from the level here at the moment. We still need to get this and this and this. So it won't really matter what the count is, but this is a good time to you know, start looking at it. You know, there's a lot of different ways you can count this. We could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for wave 1 up here, and wave 2 here, and then look at this as wave 1 and 2 here, and so on. You know, there's a lot of different ways to to view this, but I do need to bring it in line with stock. But stock's got its own thing sort of happening as well. So anyway, that's the S&P, and the NASDAQ here is the weekly chart. So we're going from wave 4 to wave 5 here. And the reason that I shorted it up on the S&P and that is because the NASDAQ is leading to the upside with, you know, its stocks. And I just see that there's a, you know, it's just normal for me to consider, the first consideration is that we would spend time at a large number like 20,000 here. And really we've just arrived here. So I think that I think we could spend, you know, quite a bit of time here. Now look, it wouldn't be the first time I'm wrong. We're all wrong here and there. But what I can say is the trend is to the upside. I'm being conservative and saying that I do feel that there's a good chance that the market will stick around the 20,000. And, you know, as you can see here, there's quite a lot of tops in all of this, and you know, there'll be other big events. Don't worry about the dates here too much. You know, we've got the elections and so on and so on. But I think from memory, I mean, doesn't matter who wins the election, it's always bullish after that, isn't it? So Anyway, between 4 and 5 here, we're looking for 5 waves. So let's just go to the daily chart. And there's different ways to count between this 4 and 5 as well. This is 4 here, and going up for wave 5. You know, there is the chance of actually putting this, you know, this down into here as 1 and 2 here, you know, and looking at this as 1 and 2 in here, or even looking at this as 3 and 4 here. But if I do that, it doesn't really match up with what I'm looking at with, you know, other stocks like Meta platforms and so on. So this is why we need to head higher. But I'm just, you know, just wanted to be a little bit conservative about moving higher. I mean, there are stocks like Tesla and Apple that are kind of doing their own thing, but Google and Microsoft and Meta platforms and NVIDIA sort of out there leading a little bit, you know, but we can group them together a little bit. But yeah, my premise is that that we'll be sticking around the 20,000. So I mentioned that before we got there, and I can also say too that when we see the market react from the 20,000 or a number, then it's highly likely that there's a degree that there's a hand. This will be just the smallest reaction at this point. This is it trying to go from resistance to support here to go higher. But I think the swings at the 20,000, this first one here is just a smaller one, then we're going to see a bigger one, and then we're going to see a bigger one still, you know. So I think there's a fair bit to go on here. Yeah, and once again, this move here can be counted differently. I mean, normally if I wasn't around the 20,000, I would kind of be wanting to put wave 3 much higher. You know, so wave 1, 2 here, and having 3 much higher. But yeah, like I said, I think sticking around this number here is going to be important. So we look at this on the 20,000 here. So I've changed it around a little bit. So I've got from the wave 4 down here, I've got wave 1 and 2 going up for wave 3 here. And in this instance here, I've put it as wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's kind of a better fit at this point. So we'll just see, but we'll probably have to adjust it. This wave 4, 2 can also come down the 38.2%, and the wave 4, 1 lesser degree is here. So it can come down a little bit. I don't want to get stopped out, so we'll just happily move that stop down. We want to be up here. This trend is, whichever way you look at it, I can see that the trend is not finished. But hopefully we could just pick straight up from this point here. So I'm thinking, you know, something like this before sort of heading up here higher. So we'll just see. But yeah, there could be another little move down through here for this, but in the meantime we'll just put that there, just get a bit of bearings on it. And if we look at this just a little bit more sort of cleanly, I think I've got it on the, let's get a bit more data here for this on 10 should be enough. So we've got 1 and 2 here. So this is how I've got it counted, but as I mentioned, this can be counted in different ways. I get it. So like if you've got a different count, don't think that you're wrong, you know. It's not like that. I can see that it can be handled in various ways. My reason for doing this is because of the 20,000, seeing it stick here for this. So once again, I mean, if this is the case, if this is wave 2 here and we've got wave 3 up here, you can see the 38.2% is much further down here with this wave 4. So if you want to ride that out, that's possible. I think that we can actually just go straight up from here, because I can see a little 1 and 2 here, and then 5 waves up here for 3, 4, 5 here. So I can see that that it can move up, but this is also a little bit impulsive as well. So it's quite easy to get, where's my drawing tool? It's quite easy to look at this as 1 and 2 here, and 3, 4, 5 here, and then move up. So you may need to accommodate that situation, okay? But there is a chance for it to move up from this point here as well. But yeah, so that's sort of where we are at with this at the moment. So let's go through the stocks, and with Apple here, we've been looking at an ABC from the top. Here's wave 3, and the A, the B, and it's gotten a little bit longer here now, but we've got 5 waves down here, so we have to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And as you can see here, we've got 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 here. So there's a little bit further to go down on this one here. This can also be counted a bit differently as well. I can open it up like this here and count 5 waves up here in terms of 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, and 5 waves up for 3, 4, 5. It's quite a nice look actually, and 3 and 4 here, and then going up for 5 here. So it's quite possible we could have a bit of a deeper move here as well, because when we're moving around large numbers, I can see that it wants to be sort of pulled back here, so we'll have to be a little bit careful about that. But still bullish. That's the takeaway. Now Amazon, it's going okay. We've had it as wave 4 here with wave 1 and 2. I know all that looks a little bit weird, and we could bring wave 4 over here, but I haven't done that because it puts the timing out related to other stocks. So 1 and 2, and then we had 1 and 2 here. We look to go long here. I've moved the stop up to 181. Now, going from wave 1 here to 2 here, and then up to 3 here, so up to the 200. So there's probably different ways to count this here as well. I've got this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there is overlap here. So it could quite easily be counted with this wave 1 here and putting, you know, this wave 1 over to here and looking at it a little bit more of a building case to the upside. But whichever way you look at it, it's still going up. And what you'll see here is you'll see it play out across this level here. So if you're going to go long in this, just realize that you're going to get some sort of you know, consolidation across the 190 area before going up at that point. So I have moved the stop up to 181, and I think I've updated that in the spreadsheet. Let me just check. Yeah, I have. Yeah, 181 there. So 181 here. So that's all good. And yeah, so that's pretty straightforward. And we come over to NVIDIA, and this is the bigger picture here for this. So when we go to the intraday, I don't have this as wave 3 and 4 here, but looking at it, it's a pretty good case of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the middle here with 1 and 2. It does make wave 3 here, primary wave 3, a little bit short compared to this one here. But the main point is that we're in a bullish move here, and the speed at which this is coming down to compared to the price here is telling me that, you know, the low is probably in or very close at this point. So that would be that. I'll just go to the intraday at 1000 ticks. It'll be a little bit different, but I just wanted to, I've got it as a different wave 3 and 4 here. So yeah, okay, so I can view this as wave 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and 4 here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So I could do it that way, and that would give this an A wave here. That's actually 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So can't really put the B wave there. I could put it over there and have a C wave down here for that. So I could do that. I'll just go in and take a better look at that situation. Just 1 second. This is the corrective pattern. This is it, looking at it as a corrective pattern and a low being in place here. So that works quite well as well. And it does count here. If you count this as 1, 2, 3, 4 here, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, the fourth. So we do have a reasonable 5-wave structure here. I know we could go WXY here as well. We'll see if it pushes up. But support on 130 would give you the long trade at that point. I'll just go back to to this 1000 area here. This is how I've been counting this up here. I just want to go over it for my own sake. The timing's pretty good because it will still put wave 3 where I need it to be here, which will be in line with many of the other markets. So the question is wave 4 already in place at this stage? This is the previous wave 4 here. It doesn't have to come back to that. So I've got this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So it's looking okay at this point. I'll just see what I've got elsewhere on this 2 and 5. Oh, it's the same count. Yeah, that's calling it in at this point. Anyway, it's it can drop back into this wave 4 here. Okay, so just be a little bit mindful of that. But otherwise, we could view it like this here. It's just that it's not. You know, I can see that it can be counted in 5 waves. I can see that it can be counted in ABC pattern. Getting support on 130 with the little wave 5 here does give it a bit of, you know, credibility, but it doesn't really get it out of the woodwork either, because if this moves up here, this can still come down here as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. So the B wave could migrate over here. But I reckon just stay long. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Just take it on the chin and wait it out, because the trend is still to the upside here, and this would be a better target area here. We're going to be going up further here anyway. So yeah. So anyway, that's that. You may just need to wait that out a bit, unfortunately. Okay. So with meta platforms here, we've got wave 4 here, with wave 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2. I just don't think this little correction here at this level. So I brought this down to 503 area here on top here, and I've also dropped the stop down here to 462. So this may play out. It still could play out with another little move down here in some way or another. I know that I could probably put WXY this, you know, or even if I did that, I'll still have to put it here because of this little move here. But yeah, so it can come down a little bit further, so I'll just bring it down a bit further. But what we'll try to do is get if you're long in this already, it's fine, but otherwise we'll just get another entry a bit closer to the 500 when it comes back on that as well. Okay, but this is good. This is, if that 500 gets support, we need to be on that. So Netflix is chuffing along okay. No changes here. We're looking for, we've got 1 and 2 and going up for wave 3 here. And looking for 5 waves of 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. And then within 2 and 3 here, we're looking for 5 waves of 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a little bit dodgy in here, I have to say, but it's sort of okay for the time being. We're at break even here, and we should be pushing higher here, and then we'll come back, and then we'll move up here. So we should see a bit of a dance around this 700 before moving up. So a series of, we're in wave 4s and 5s in this space, you know. But anyway, that trade's pretty easy. It's going okay. Okay, so for this Google here, I did have a look at this over the weekend, and you know, I could look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here for wave 1 as well here. So I could look at this as a, well, not this wave 1, but I could look at it as this wave 1 here. That's possible. But anyway, all last week we were just working through this little this little A and B and C wave here. So, you know, putting that in here, I feel like it's a bit small. I don't think I've got the right count here, but at the same time, I know that we're going higher, so it kind of doesn't matter. So don't know everything, but know enough to know that all we need to do is keep the stop out of the way, and you know, just keep our long positions here for all of this. And there's 2 stops. One is well out of the way, and that will take us up to when the S&P and the NASDAQ top out in 3, 4, and 5 up here. Then this wave this wave 5 of 3 here, then we can do an exit at that point, wherever that may be. It may be further up here yet, you know. But if you're trading much closer, then the 200 is the target for that. But yeah, it needs to go further up. And look, the 180 here is really important. You know, a lot of the wind has been taken out of the sails. It's chipped it in, you know, 3 times it's had a go at it. So as Gann would say, the 4th time it will push through. So I think that it's just going to continue to build on this and push up at this point, so we can push this up here. Just really a matter of you know, how we're going to count this to the upside. That's all. Okay, so that's that, and Microsoft is not far behind. It's going up to its 3rd wave as well. It's a little bit small from 2 to 3 here compared to the wave 1 here. I get that, but we'll just keep watching it. Maybe I can add another structure to it and those sort of things. But in the meantime, we should just see it continue to the upside. This is our target up here, of course, the 500. It will spend time, you know, as I said, it spent time at the midpoint here, and then the next levels up. Let's get rid of that. The next levels up here is, you know, from 400 to 500. The Fibonacci numbers 1, 2, and 3. Wherever the 3 is gone, 3's still gone. 30. Oh, that's where it was at the 40 here. So we don't need. This one needs to go here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. So basically we're working with 5 at the moment, and then we'll be working with 8. With 8 we work with group 2 as well, so probably see this in here somewhere, some sort of reaction at this point for this one. Okay, so all good there. Then we come to Tesla. So we've been looking at as wave 1, and an A and a B and a C for wave 2 here, and then wave 1 and 2, and then wave 1 and 2 here. This is, you know, this is not really good here. I can see we've got 5 waves here. I could view this in a few different ways, and I mean, I could probably look at this as 5 waves as well, but it's not a very nice 5 waves. This seems to be corrective here, so we should be pushing up higher. If you wanted to, if you're not long here and you wanted to go long, the balance point would be at the 185. So any first high above the 185 would be a nice place to enter. Wait for the first high above the level. It could be a little spike. It could be any whatever it is. And then you can look to go long above that there. In this case, you know, I don't think we'll spend too much time at the 200. I mean, we will, but the other side of the coin is we've got wave 2 here, so that we're in wave 3. We're in wave 3 of this one. We'll be in wave 3 of this one. So we'll be in the 3rd of the 3rd. So it should move through here quite quickly. So you may want to sort of, we'll definitely be holding this one through this. But anything else up here, you probably want to take a good chunk of it off, and we'll get you back in. But in an odd way, it's looking okay, all of this. I know it's not the best wave count. It's pretty ugly, I get it, you know, but we've got it moving in line with the other markets, so that's something. So we'll see. I can see the bearish side. You could count this as 5. You could count this as 3 waves up, and this is 5 waves down, and this is 5 waves down of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's possible for it to come down. I get it, but we're just sort of surfing in line with the rest of the market. Okay, so Bitcoin here. We've got wave 1 up here. We've got A and a B and 1 and 2. And 5 waves down for 3, 4, and 5. I'm still missing one little wave down here for this. Also with this here as well, it's quite possible for this to, I'll talk about this in the commodities video a little bit more, it's quite possible to come over here as well. Yeah, I mean, this whole pattern here, you know, if I just open this up a little bit here and just have a bit of a chat about it, this particular pattern here, you know, in some markets we've seen the A wave here, the B wave here, and in some markets we've seen it take out the low here. So it's coming into a C wave here. But even those markets that are coming down here in the C wave, they don't have much more to go either. They would be like sort of like this to finish off. So not a lot. So some of these markets have made this the A, the B, and the C wave here. It's quite possible for this to bring this wave 4, over to here. I don't particularly want to turn it into a triangle pattern of an A, B, C, D, and E over here. It will kind of put it out of whack with the timing of other markets in the same space. If I keep this over here, then it becomes a little bit more in line with the NASDAQ at that point. So I kind of like that. It's just that it's not really giving us a nice sort of ABC. The 61-62% is here. So we'll just, we just wanted to observe it here for a little while. Quite often we'll see a market, come down, bounce and test a particular price point and then eventually, find support and move off again. And really that's all we're sort of looking for. But I can see that some of the other markets need to move down, some of the smaller tokens. So we'll just wait and see, but more about that in the Bitcoin video. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.